Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. It's Christmas in July, so I decided to make some more Christmas cards. I'm using Scrapbook.com's Peppermint 6x8 paper pad. Scrapbook.com recently released several different pattern paper packs, and I love the Peppermint collection. So as you can see, this is a very large paper pad. It is 6 by 8 inches in size. There are 5 sheets of each design. The quality of the paper is really nice. It's a very heavy cardstock. So I'll flip through all these patterns quickly so you can see everything that's included. These are double-sided papers, and I'll flip that around here in just one moment. There are lots of beautiful patterns. I love the colors. We have lots of pink, there's red, pretty greens, even some dark blue. They also released another Christmas pattern paper pack, and it's beautiful as well, but I was really drawn to the colors in the Peppermint collection. This poinsettia paper is my absolute favorite. I love all that pink. They also have a coordinating smooth cardstock pack. It doesn't have all of the same colors as the pattern paper, and I did find that the colors don't match exactly. They still can work together. I like the smooth cardstock and I use it for my projects all the time, but I didn't use any of it for this video. Instead, I brought in solid cardstock from my stash. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration for most of the cards. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I use in this video, I share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. The sketch I'm using for this card is from OWH. It's number 256. I decided to start off using my favorite pattern paper in the whole pack. For the background paper, I used some white shimmer cardstock. I'm layering everything on some red cardstock. For the banner on the left side of the card, I'm using some pink cardstock that has a pearlescent finish on it. Just cut a fishtail on the bottom. Before adhering it to my card, I will put a scrap cardstock piece at the very bottom of that banner. Then I'll adhere it in place using some liquid adhesive. Most of the cards in this video are fairly simple. I'm really focusing on sentiments and the pretty pattern paper. For the sentiment on this card, I'm using a stamp set from Jaded Blossom. It's called Be Merry, and the sentiment is merry and bright, and I love the little heart above the word bright. I stamped it on a stitch circle die cut, layered it on a red circle die cut, and just adhered it to the card using some liquid adhesive. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll use some Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini circle style in the pink holographic color, and these are so sparkly. Put 3 of them in the lower right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. With 5 sheets of every pattern paper, it's so easy to make multiples of the same card. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from OWH. This is number 156. I selected 2 different pattern papers. For the background, I have this fun garland looking design, and then some Christmas tree ornaments for the smaller piece. I'll layer everything on some teal cardstock. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Almost all of the cards I make are American Standard A2 size. Every once in a while I'll make a slimline size card, but I generally stick with the A2 size. For the sentiment, I'm using a stamp set from Waffle Flower. This is their classic holiday sentiments. I've already stamped it out, decided to go with the traditional Merry Christmas. All of the colored inks I'm using in this video are from Catherine Pooler. I layered it on some teal cardstock and glued it down using liquid adhesive. On this sketch, there are 3 small circles underneath the sentiment. I'm using some mini circle peel-offs from Love from Lizi. This is the white color. The mini shape peel-offs are great for embellishment since they don't add a lot of extra bulk to the card. And if you use some of the holographic or the mirror style, it'll add that little bit of shine or sparkle. Then for a little extra embellishment, I'm adding 2 more mini circle peel-offs to the right of that tree pattern paper. So there's my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. I love the combination of pink and teal together. It's so pretty. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 286. For the background of my card, I selected another beautiful poinsettia pattern paper, layered it on some red cardstock, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base. Most of the pattern papers in this collection are fairly busy. I think there's only 1 or 2 that have that tone-on-tone design, so I am using quite a bit of solid cardstock. For the 2 strips that go on the bottom of the card, I'm using some pink and also some red cardstock. And I'll adhere both of those in place using some liquid adhesive. For a little bit of sparkle, I'm using some more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style in the pink holographic color. It's one of my favorite peel-off colors, and you can see they're super sparkly. I'm adding 2 strips to the lower portion of the pink cardstock. I have the medium width and also the narrowest width. I'll just trim off the edge using a craft knife. For the sentiment on my card, I'm using a set from Waffle Flower. This is called Cozy Holiday Sentiments. I love the font on this set. I stamped out Have a Cozy Christmas on a white circle die cut, layered it on a red circle die cut, and I used a wider layer for the red circle since the main background of the card is white and the background of the sentiment is white. I wanted to make sure it stood out against that background. Before adhering the sentiment to my card, I did put a scrap piece of cardstock on the upper portion. That way it's at the same level as that pink strip. I'll just glue it down using some liquid adhesive. For embellishments on my card, I'm using some glitter enamel dots that are left over from a Love from Lizi card kit. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. One thing I don't always show in my video, when I have those thin strips of pattern paper left over, I like to put them on the inside of the card just for that little extra detail. Now moving on to card design number 4. The card sketch is from Sketch Saturday. It's number 694. I selected 2 different pattern papers, and these are both the front and back of the same paper. So on the top portion, I have some cute little bunnies wearing a red scarf. On the bottom, it's a pink background with some white and red snowflakes. Added both of those to some red cardstock. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. There's a little bit of a gap between the 2 pattern papers, but that's okay. I'll be covering it up using a Love from Lizi peel-off. This is the pinstripe style in the pink holographic color. I have some small scrap pieces left over, and this is the perfect opportunity to use those since I don't need a full strip going all the way across the card. The little gap where I don't have any peel-offs will be covered up with an image and a sentiment. I'll glue down a stitch circle die cut, and I did use some white shimmer cardstock for that. For the 2 banners on the right side, I'm using some pink cardstock and also the same red cardstock. Just got a fishtail on the bottom, and I'll glue those down using some liquid adhesive. The pink cardstock does have a pearlescent finish on the other side, but I felt the shade of pink on the non-pearlescent side matched better with the pattern paper. After I attach the small red banner, I'll start working on the image. I'm using a die set from Spellbinders. This is their Holiday Blooms, and I'm only using the poinsettia die pieces. There are 2 pieces to assemble the flower, but I cut out 2 of the larger pieces so I have a fuller looking poinsettia. So I'll just adhere all of those together. I also have the very center of the flower, and I use some white cardstock for that. To finish off the poinsettia, I'm using some more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini circle style in the clear iridescent glitter color. I'm using the smallest circles and adding them to the center of the poinsettia. The nice thing about glitter peel-offs, all of that glitter is sealed. It will not make a mess at all. But they do add a beautiful sparkle to the card. So I'll put 1 more in the center. For the sentiment, I've already stamped this out. This is from the Waffle Flower Classic Holiday Sentiment Set. On the right side of the sentiment, I'll cut it at an angle. Then before adhering it to the card, I will put that scrap cardstock piece on the right side. Then I'll add some liquid adhesive to the back, tuck in that left side underneath the poinsettia and adhere it to my card. I'm trying to adjust that left side of the sentiment so it tucks right underneath the petals of the poinsettia. I noticed one of the petals of the poinsettia was stuck down, so I'm using my tweezers to lift it back up. For a final finishing touch, I'm using some more Love from Lizi peel-offs, this time the mini star style in the pink holographic color. There are 3 different styles of the mini shape peel-offs. There's the circle, stars, and also hearts. My most used peel-offs are the pinstripe and the mini shape style. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. It's so fun that the Peppermint collection has traditional and also non-traditional Christmas colors. Now moving on to card design number 5. I won't be using a card sketch this time. This card will feature more of my favorite poinsettia paper. For the sentiment, I've already stamped it out. This is from scrapbook.com's Big and Bold Christmas set. I love the large size of the sentiment. This one is Believe in the Magic of Christmas. And I believe I used the sparkling berry ink color from Catherine Pooler. It matches the pink on the pattern paper nicely. To add some separation between the sentiment and the pattern paper, I'm adding a scallop border die cut, and this is from Jaded Blossom. I put some double-sided tape on the back to adhere to the card. So now I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. And I did have to pause the video and refill my tape glider. I think I used at least 1 or 2 rolls of ATG tape for all of the cards in this video. To finish off the card, I'm adding a small stitched banner die cut in the upper right-hand corner, and this is from Jaded Blossom's banner die set. Then I'll also use some more Love from Lizi peel-offs, the mini stars in the silver holographic color. I'll add 2 onto the banner in the upper right-hand corner. Then I'll also add several of the stars on top of the word believe. It'll add that little extra sparkle, and I think it works perfectly with that sentiment. This sheet of peel-offs doesn't look quite as sparkly as the pink, and that's only because I removed that outer piece. It makes it easier to remove all those little peel-offs. And don't worry, I didn't waste that piece. I gave it to my daughter. So there's my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 513. I selected 2 different pattern papers. For the very bottom strip, I have the pink paper with the white and red snowflakes. And for the main paper, I have this beautiful design with birds, flowers, there's some deer and bunnies on it. Layer everything on some red cardstock. For the very background of the card, I do have some white shimmer cardstock, although you'll only see that little bit around the top edge. Above the pink pattern paper, I am adding some Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the straight style, so it's a little bit wider than the pinstripe. And I only need to add some very small pieces since most of it will be covered up with the pattern paper. I'll adhere this beautiful pattern paper piece to my card. Then I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. For the sentiment on my card, I'm using the Waffle Flower Cozy Holiday Sentiment Set. I've already stamped out Have a Cozy Christmas, and I'll layer this on some red cardstock. Before adhering it to my card, I'll put that scrap cardstock piece just at the very lower portion of that sentiment and adhere it in place. Next, I'll add a pretty poinsettia die cut, and this is from Sunny Studios Window Quad Circle die set. I cut out both of the layers from some pink cardstock, and the very center I used some white cardstock. Just glue all 3 of those pieces together. On the back side, I will put some foam dimension just on the left side. Then I'll put some liquid adhesive on the right side and adhere it next to my sentiment. For the very center of the poinsettia, I'm using some more of the mini circle peel-offs. This is the pink holographic color, and I'll add 5 of those. I'm using the smallest size. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll use some more mini circle peel-offs, this time in the white color, and I'll add 2 of the largest size in the upper right-hand corner. The white peel-offs don't stand out a lot against that pattern paper, but it still adds that lovely detail. They have more of a vinyl finish look. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. There are so many beautiful pattern papers in this collection. Now moving on to card design number 7. The card sketch is from OWH. This is number 176. This is a fun sketch to feature several different pattern papers. The largest pattern paper is a very dark blue with snowflakes all over it. I have a nice rainbow stripe and also white with a rainbow of little bows. I rounded the bottom 2 corners on the snowflake paper, and I'm layering everything on some pink pearlescent cardstock. This dark blue cardstock is really dark, and I don't have any cardstock that really matches with that color. So instead I decided to use the pink for my matted layer, and I think it works out really well. After the snowflake paper, I put the stripe paper. For that very narrow strip, I used some solid red cardstock, and then at the top I have the bow pattern paper. For a little extra detail and separation between the snowflake pattern paper and the stripe pattern paper, I'm adding a Love from Lizi peel off. This is the silver color in the sway design. It has this really fun wavy pattern at the bottom, and it's straight on the other edge. I used the narrowest width. I've already stamped out the sentiment. This is from the same waffle flower stamp set that I've been using. Decided to go with Merry Christmas, layering it on some of the same pink cardstock, although I used the opposite side so it doesn't have that pearlescent finish. Got a fishtail on the left, and I'll adhere it to my card using some liquid adhesive. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add some more of the peel-offs, the same silver color in the mini circle style. I'm using the largest size circle. Put 3 of them in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 4 using this design. I make a lot of Christmas cards every year, usually around 300. I will be donating about half of those. I like to use a variety of different paper styles, and for many of the cards, I make sure to keep them nice and flat. That way I won't have to pay any additional postage when I mail them, or if I'm giving them to a charity, they won't have to pay that additional postage. For card design number 8, the card sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 323. For this card, that large rectangle piece, I'm using some white and light green pattern paper. It has all these little trees on it. On the card sketch, there's those 3 skinny little strips. It's the perfect design to use with some Love from Lizi peel-offs. I'm using this silver color in the pinstripe style, and I have the medium width. Since part of that area will be covered up, I don't need to use a full peel-off strip. So this is another great time to use up some of those smaller scraps. I'll wrap those ends around the back. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my tree pattern paper onto some white shimmer cardstock. Then I'll layer that piece on some dark green cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base. I used another pattern paper for the circle, layered it on a dark green circle die cut. I really like the look of the soft greens in the pattern paper with the dark green cardstock. It adds a nice contrast. I'll use some liquid adhesive to adhere the circle die cut onto my card. For the sentiment, I've already stamped this out, wishing you peace and joy. And this is from a spellbinder set called Christmas Time Sentiments. It has a really nice variety of sentiments plus 1 snowflake image. I'll layer it on some green cardstock. Then before adhering it to my card, I will put that scrap cardstock piece on the very right side, just the area where it goes off of the circle die cut. And this time I'm also adding a scrap piece of pattern paper. Then I'll adhere it to the card more on the lower area of that circle. To finish off the card, I'll add some more mini circle peel-offs, this time the medium size in the silver color. I'll add 3 of them to the right of that tree pattern paper. The silver color peel-offs look really nice with the white and light green on this card. And there is my finished card. Again, I did make 4 using this design. This is a really fun card design. You can feature 2 different pattern papers, and I always love the opportunity to use some Love from Lizi peel-offs. Now moving on to card design number 9. The card sketch is from MFT. This is number 601. and this is the first time I've ever used this sketch. I have two different pattern papers. I'll put the white piece on the left side of the card and the green on the right side. For the very background, I've already stamped out Merry Christmas, and I stamped it on some white shimmer cardstock. Next, I'll add a Love from Lizi peel off. This is the sway design in the silver color. This time I'm using the medium width, just adding one underneath those two pattern paper pieces. I'll cut the peel off just a little bit wider than the card panel, wrap those ends around the back, put some ATG tape on the back, and layer this piece on some silver mirror cardstock. This is old cardstock that I've had for a long time. This may actually be my last piece, so it's nice to finally finish this off. It really wasn't the best quality cardstock, but I didn't want to just toss it in the recycle bin. I'll put my card front onto a card base. On the card sketch, there's all those small circles, and I thought it would be fun to add snowflakes. I cut them out from some white glitter cardstock so they'll have that little bit of sparkle. The dies are all from Lawn Fawn. I've had them for a long time, so I'm not sure if they're even available. If they are, I will add links in the description box below. I'll put some liquid adhesive on the back and adhere all 5 of the snowflakes to my card. For 2 of the snowflakes, I'm sort of following that star snowflake design on the pattern paper, but for all the others, I just glued them down following the design on the sketch. As I'm recording this voiceover, I realized I forgot to add a silver peel off between the 2 pattern papers. I did it on all the other cards, and you'll see it on my photographed card. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. And here in the photo, you can see the peel off between those 2 pattern papers. It's such an easy way to add a lot of detail to your card. Now moving on to card design number 10, and this is my final card design. The card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 8. This card is featuring 2 different pattern papers. I have that fun green pattern for the background, and for the smaller piece, I love this pattern paper. It has all the different ornaments in pink and green. I rounded the left 2 corners, layered that piece on some pink cardstock. For the very background, I'm layering that green pattern paper on some white shimmer cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base. For this sentiment, I've already stamped out Merry Christmas, and this is from the same waffle flower stamp set that I've used on several of the cards. And I stamped the sentiment on the same pink cardstock I've been using in this video. I just used the non-pearlescent side. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but this pink cardstock with the pearlescent finish is from Coordinations. It's the pink diamond color. I purchased individual 12 by 12 sheets from my local Joann's. I'll cut a fishtail on the left side of the sentiment. Before adhering it to my card, I did put some scrap cardstock and a small scrap of pattern paper on that very left side. Then I adhered it to my card using liquid adhesive. For a final finishing touch, I'm using some more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini circle style in the clear glitter iridescent color. So they're mostly clear, but they do have that beautiful glitter finish on them. I put 2 in the upper right hand corner and then 3 around the sentiment. So there's my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. Now here's another look at the 40 cards I made using Scrapbook.com's Peppermint 6x8 pattern paper pack. I did not finish off this paper pack. I still have quite a bit of it left, but I decided to end after 10 different card designs. You can see how easy it is to make multiples of the same card since there is a ton of pattern paper. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. These are affiliate links. I will earn a small commission at no additional cost to you when you make a purchase using those links. I'm so grateful to everyone who helps support my channel. And if you enjoy my videos, be sure to comment, subscribe, and give the video a thumbs up. It's an easy way to help support my channel. This is probably my last Christmas in July video, but I will be making more Christmas cards throughout the year so I can reach my goal of 300 cards. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.